Never give up. Why, today is hard, tomorrow will be worse, but the day after tomorrow will be sunshine, is the most honest success formula. You don't quit when it's painful. You quit when it's confusing. Pain is simple. You know what hurts. You know what's wrong. You can point to the bill, the rejection email, the lack of views, the low sales, the bad month, the cold silence from people who used to clap for you. Pain has an address. Confusion is worse. Confusion is when you put in effort and nothing changes. You do the right things. Wake up early, work late, learn, improve, plan, sacrifice. And the universe answers with nothing. No breakthrough, no recognition, no reward. Just the same wall, the same locked door, the same feeling that you might be delusional for trying. That's why Jack Ma's line hits like a reality check instead of a motivational poster. Never give up. Today is hard. Tomorrow will be worse. But the day after tomorrow will be sunshine. It's short, but it describes the emotional physics of building anything. Business, career, relationship, body, skill, channel, dream. It doesn't pretend the climb is smooth. It doesn't sell you the fantasy that believe and it will happen. It doesn't promise that hard work immediately pays. It tells you the part most people hide. The middle gets darker before it gets bright. And that's the exact moment most people quit. Not on day one. Not when it's obviously difficult. They quit on tomorrow, the day when they expected relief and got heavier pressure instead. They quit when they thought the storm would ease, but the wind got louder. They quit when their hope met its first real test. Delayed results. So if you've ever felt like your life is stuck in the today is hard phase, or you're staring at a tomorrow will be worse season right now, this isn't a pep talk. This is a map. And if you understand the map, you stop panicking about the terrain. Because the secret isn't just never give up. The secret is knowing what you're not supposed to see yet, and why the sunshine often arrives only after a day that feels like it's trying to break you. 1. Why this quote feels different from typical motivation. Most motivational advice fails because it skips the timeline. It says things like, work hard and you'll succeed. Dream big and the universe will reward you. Believe in yourself. But real life is messy. You work hard and still fail. You dream big and people mock you. You believe in yourself and still feel fear. Jack Ma's quote doesn't deny any of that. It respects the timeline. Today is hard. The beginning friction. Tomorrow will be worse. The deeper resistance. The day after tomorrow will be sunshine. The delayed payoff. That middle part, tomorrow will be worse, is the missing chapter in most success stories. People love telling you how they started, and they love showing you how they won. Almost nobody describes the ugly middle, where they questioned everything. Yet that ugly middle is where success is actually made. Because that's where you either build resilience or build excuses. And your future is decided by which one you build when no one is watching. 2. Today is hard. The beginner's resistance. Today is hard is the moment you start something real. Starting looks romantic from the outside. New energy, fresh plan, big dreams. But inside, it's not romantic. It's clumsy. You're weak at it. You don't have momentum. Your systems aren't built. Your mind is full of doubt. Your results are tiny. This is where most people underestimate what hard really means. Hard means you're learning while doing. You're doing without confidence. You're spending effort before you've earned proof. Hard is also emotional. People won't take you seriously yet. Your progress won't look impressive. Your output won't match your taste. That last part matters. When you begin, your taste is advanced. You know what great looks like. But your skill is not advanced yet. So you produce something and immediately feel disappointed. It's not the vision in your head. It's not the level you wanted. You feel embarrassed. That embarrassment is a test. People who win don't avoid embarrassment. They accept it as tuition, because the first stage of mastery is always humbling. 3. Tomorrow will be worse. The valley of delayed rewards. Now, here's the brutal truth. If you survive, today is hard, you often expect tomorrow to be easier. You think, I got through the first hard part. I'm consistent now. I'm learning. Surely the results are coming. And then reality says, nope, tomorrow will be worse.
This is the stage where many people break, not because they are weak, but because they misread the meaning of struggle.
They assume, if it's getting harder, I must be doing something wrong. But in many cases, it's getting harder because you're doing something right.
Let's break down why tomorrow often feels worse. A. Your effort increases faster than your results. In the beginning, you can improve quickly because you're learning basics. But after a while, improvement requires deeper work, strategy, refinement, patience. This creates a psychological debt. You feel like you're paying more but receiving less. B. The novelty wears off.
At first, excitement carries you. Later, you need discipline to carry you. And discipline is heavier than excitement.
When excitement dies, you find out who you really are. C. You face the first real obstacles.
Early obstacles are small. Learning tools, building habits, finding time. Later obstacles are bigger. Competition, rejection, plateaus, cash flow problems, mental fatigue, criticism. Tomorrow is when you face things you can't solve with enthusiasm alone.
D. People stop encouraging you.
In the beginning, people say, nice, good luck. But later, when you're still grinding and not there yet, the encouragement fades. Some people get uncomfortable watching you struggle.
Your loneliness increases, and loneliness makes the road feel longer. E.
The dream becomes real, and that's scary.
When the dream is just a dream,
It's safe. When it starts becoming possible, the fear rises. What if I fail publicly? What if I succeed and can't handle it? What if I waste years?
tomorrow will be worse,
Is the moment you realize your ambition has consequences.
so you're not just fighting external problems. You're fighting the version of you that wants comfort more than growth.
4. The hidden meaning. Most people quit one day too early. Jack Ma didn't say, tomorrow will be worse, so quit. He said, never give up.
Why?
Because the worst day is often the last day before the sunshine day.
Think about it. The hardest part of a tunnel is not the entrance. It's the middle, when you can't see the exit yet.
Most people quit when they're close because closeness is invisible.
You don't know you're one day away from sunshine. You just know you're tired. You just know tomorrow looks darker.
So the real message of this quote is, the moment you want to quit is usually the moment you must hold on.
Not because quitting is always wrong. Some things should be quit. But because many people quit not due to a smart decision, but due to emotional exhaustion and short-term thinking. They quit because the discomfort convinces them it's permanent. But discomfort is often temporary, especially in growth.
5. What sunshine actually means and what it doesn't.
Here's another reason this quote is powerful. It doesn't promise paradise. It promises sunshine, not a forever perfect life.
Sunshine is a breakthrough, a solution, a turning point, a moment of clarity, a reward that validates the struggle. But sunshine doesn't mean no more problems, no more hard days, instant wealth, permanent comfort. Sunshine means the season changes. You stop living in pure survival mode. You breathe again. You gain momentum. You see progress. You see proof, and that proof is fuel.
Sunshine is the moment you finally say, okay, this is working. Even if it's small. Even if it's just the first sign.
Because that first sign transforms your psychology.
When you have no proof, every step feels like faith.
When you have proof, every step becomes strategy.
6. How this applies to building a career, business, or creative channel. Let's bring this into real-world situations.
A. In career growth,
Today is hard. You learn a new skill, take a new job, start from zero. Tomorrow is worse. You hit politics, slow promotions, imposter syndrome, burnout. Sunshine, You get credibility, leverage, respect, options.
The people who get the sunshine are not always the smartest. They're the ones who stayed long enough to build rare value.
B. In business.
Today is hard. You launch, you sell your first product, you learn operations. Tomorrow is worse. Cash flow squeezes, mistakes, refunds, ads fail, competitors appear. Sunshine. You find product market fit, repeatable sales, stable systems.
Most businesses die in tomorrow because founders assume struggle means failure, instead of seeing struggle as the normal cost of discovery.
C. In content creation. YouTube, podcast, etc.
Today is hard. You post, you get low views, you cringe at your early work. Tomorrow is worse. You improve, but views still don't rise. Algorithm feels random. Motivation crashes. Sunshine. A video hits. Audience feedback changes. Retention improves. Your format clicks.
Creators quit too early because they measure success by immediate validation. But audiences often reward consistency later, not early.
D. In fitness and training.
Today is hard. Your body aches. Your stamina is low. Tomorrow is worse. Plateaus, injuries, boredom, slow progress. Sunshine. Performance jumps, confidence rises, your body becomes trained. The body responds on delay. That's why most people fail. They stop before the body adapts.
7. The tomorrow test. How to know if you're on the right path.
Here's a critical distinction. Not all tomorrows lead to sunshine. Sometimes you're suffering because you're on the wrong path. Sometimes you're suffering because growth is painful. So how do you tell the difference? Ask these questions. 1. Are you learning and improving, even if results are slow? If you're genuinely getting better, you're likely moving forward. 2. Is the pain producing skill, discipline, or insight? Good pain produces something. Bad pain is pure damage. 3. Do you have small signals that it's working? One customer, one returning viewer, one compliment from someone credible, one metric improving. Small signals matter. 4. Is your strategy evolving, or are you repeating the same mistake? If you're stuck doing the same wrong thing, tomorrow will be worse forever. But if you're adapting, tomorrow can be worse temporarily. 5. If you quit, will you be relieved or regretful? Relief can be temporary. Regret can last years.
The goal isn't to suffer blindly. The goal is to persist intelligently. 8. Never give up doesn't mean never rest. A lot of people misread persistence as self-destruction. Persistence isn't grinding until you break. Persistence is
Staying committed to the goal while adjusting the method and protecting your energy.
sometimes never give up means
Taking a break, not quitting. Changing tactics, not abandoning the mission. Slowing down, not stopping. If you burn out, you don't reach sunshine. You crash before it arrives. So you need a sustainable version of persistence, a version that you can repeat, because consistency beats intensity when the timeline is long.
9. The practical method. How to survive tomorrow will be worse. Let's get tactical. If you're in the tomorrow phase, here's how you survive it.
A. Shrink your time horizon. When tomorrow feels worse, don't think in years. Think in days. Ask, what can I do today that keeps me in the game? Not, how do I solve my entire life? You don't need to win forever. You just need to show up again. B. Measure inputs, not outcomes.
In tomorrow, outcomes are unstable. Inputs are controllable.
Track hours practiced, videos posted, outreach sent, workouts completed, pages written, skills learned. When you measure inputs, you regain control. And control reduces anxiety. C. Build a minimum viable day. On bad days, don't chase perfection. Have a baseline. Write 200 words. Do 20 minutes.
Post something simple. Learn one small thing.
The minimum viable day protects momentum.
D. Expect the dip so it doesn't shock you. The dip becomes deadly when it surprises you.
If you expect tomorrow will be worse, you don't interpret it as doom. You interpret it as the normal phase before adaptation.
E. Use feedback without taking it personally.
Criticism in tomorrow can feel like a verdict on your identity.
It's not. Feedback is data. Use it. Refine. Continue.
10. The real reason people quit. They want certainty, not sunshine.
Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't quit because they don't want success. They quit because they want certainty. They want a guarantee that their suffering will pay off. But growth never comes with guarantees.
That's why persistence is rare, and rarity is what creates value. If everyone could endure uncertainty, success would be common.
But most people want comfort more than they want growth. So when the path demands uncertainty, they step off it.
Jack Ma's quote is basically saying, stop demanding certainty. Keep moving anyway.
Sunshine is often the reward for those who can walk without proof.
11. A deeper interpretation. Sunshine is earned through identity change. The biggest breakthroughs aren't just external. They're internal. When you persist through today and tomorrow, you become someone different.
You become more patient. You become more skilled. You become more emotionally stable. You become more confident in your ability to handle pressure. You become less dependent on validation. And that identity change is the real sunshine.
Because once you become that person, future challenges don't break you the same way.
You don't panic as easily. You don't quit as easily. You don't collapse because of one bad week. The sunshine isn't just the reward you get.
It's the person you become who can keep earning rewards. 12. What if you're in today is hard right now?
If you're at the beginning, here's what you need to remember. Don't judge your early work too harshly. Don't compare your chapter 1 to someone's chapter 20. Don't demand perfection from a beginner.
Your job in today is simple. Build the habit. Build the base. Build the identity of someone who shows up. Because that identity is what carries you into the tomorrow phase. And the earlier you accept that tomorrow will be worse, the less you fear it.
You stop treating difficulty like a warning sign. You start treating it like a milestone.
13. What if you're in tomorrow will be worse right now? If you're there, here's the message you probably need most.
You're not behind. You're not broken. You're not failing. You're in the normal middle. The question isn't, why is this so hard?
The question is, can I keep going long enough to let the season change?
You don't need a dramatic comeback. You need one more day. Sometimes sunshine is not a huge moment. Sometimes it's small. A message from someone you helped. A customer who returns.
A video that performs 20% better.
A week where you feel a little lighter. Those small signs are sunlight. Collect them.
Let them remind you that progress is happening, even if it's not loud. 14. The final lesson. Your future is built on the days you didn't quit.
Anyone can work when it's easy. Anyone can feel confident when results are visible.
The difference maker is who you are when
results are delayed. Energy is low.
doubt is loud.
Tomorrow looks worse.
That's when your character is revealed.
And your character is your real strategy. Because strategies change. Markets change. Platforms change. People change.
But the person who doesn't quit, who adapts, who learns, who stays in the game, will eventually find sunshine.
Not because life is fair, but because persistence creates probability. Every day you continue, you increase the chance you hit the right insight, meet the right person, create the right piece, land the right opportunity. Quitting makes the probability 0.
That's why the quote matters. Never give up. Today is hard. Tomorrow will be worse.
But the day after tomorrow will be sunshine. It's not just motivation. It's a survival guide for anyone building something real. So if today is hard, take a breath. If tomorrow feels worse, don't panic. You might be closer than you think.
And if you can hold on just a little longer, Sunshine has a way of arriving when you least expect it.
Because the day after tomorrow belongs to the ones who didn't quit today.